dare you? Dare How dare you? Hello. Thank you for joining. Who's here? Wait a minute. I have to. The rudeness. It's the rudeness for me. I'm back. Okay, so my shift is over. Let me fix things on Fakebook. I don't know what happens. It just doesn't always go through. Can you hear me okay? Is everything good with the sound? I'm my shift is over, so I had relief come, and so I'm just taking a little nap and I'll head back over to the hospital. So, yeah, can you hear me good? Is it okay? Let me know. Let me know. How's it going? How are you, Angela? I'm well, thank you. So everything's good. Hey, T. Witten, how's it going? Oh, good, Angela. The sound is good. Okay, great. I know I abruptly stopped the last live stream. Hey, Daryl, how's it going? Hey, Amy. Mish, you're here. Mish, Angela, Golden Amethyst. Hey there, Biz Wolfer and Dark Attack. You like the crest? Thank you. Thanks a lot. I found it. Like, I like it too. I was just looking up some things and I think I can use that for a project I'm working on. Hey there, Flower Girl Apothecary. How's it going? Nice to see you. Great, great. It's cold in Colorado, T. Witten, huh? I bet. Wow. I'm seeing a lot of different things going on with the cold weather. I saw a whiteout. Like, that was amazing. I've seen snow that's pretty crazy where it's just going sideways. It's not even going straight up and down. Hey, Lake Girl, how's it going? Thanks for rejoining if you were hanging out a little bit ago. Hey, Joyce. Welcome, Joyce. Thanks for joining. So, I was talking about something I came across, a story. I want to share this stuff that's going on with the young people. I know you're aware of it, but I want to talk about it. Molly, thank you, Molly, for the super chat. I appreciate that, Molly. Thank you. How's it going today with you? Lake Girl said it's very cold, very, very cold, huh? I can imagine. Lake, yeah, anywhere near Minnesota, that's an unreal kind of cold. Yes. Hey, Jamie, how's it going? Missed it. Hey, love that you're here. Yeah, Minnesota. Woo. Yeah, that's real. That's, oh boy. I have felt the cold in Minnesota. Goes right to the bone. Hey, Sunny Day. Welcome. Hi. All right. So I was talking about these two influencers. The word influencer, I know a lot of people are over it. Like, oh, can we stop calling people influencers? But people are aspiring to become this elusive influencer. And I think that it's very tenuous. Like, you can get canceled for so many different things that just being an influencer and depending on people's validation, it's not working out very well. And this whole online social media world is just hard for people to navigate. Even hard for us. I mean, we've gone through our share of learning. We've all had to learn this stuff kind of together, except for the children that are born into it. But this social media is having such an effect on people. So I wanted to talk about the one that I started to talk about. It was in the thumbnail for the previous live. So this is a model. They call them Instagram models. You've heard the term. And these models are not the traditional models that we think about. Like when I got into modeling, you had to be like a waif, and it was traditional, you're a mannequin for clothing. It was mainly fashion. And then, of course, the other side of it, I told you the darker aspect of modeling, in which I was told was, owned by the mafia. That was pretty much what they told me when I arrived in Milan, Italy. So who am I to argue with them if they tell me that's what it is? And I got to see some things that let me know there's another realm. I can be here, away from that. You could kind of work a normal type of job, which I did, but you can want to go to another level, and that requires more things. You have to compromise yourself. It's sometimes you're slowly compromising yourself, and then sometimes your invitation is right into the inner sanctum. So if you're not willing to do that, you're not going to really make it. So this model, this is a different kind of modeling. I had to get used to people calling these girls on Instagram models. So they are models for Instagram and social media. So they tend to be very voluptuous women, and they are really showing a lifestyle that looks like the kind of lifestyle everybody envies, the worldly travel and restaurants and clothing and handbags and, the stuff that made social media drive so many people crazy, because they're only looking at one side of a person's life. Okay. They're not looking at, when you're in the hospital room, or you're doing other things, you're at the supermarket, just being a regular person. It's always got to be this, you're on a private jet. And a lot of these Instagram models, they rent the jets just for the picture. I know you've heard this, right? Just go to, I guess they have services, photography services for influencers, so you can look like you're on the jet. They'll let you sit on the jet and do the whole thing, take your pictures outside, getting onto the jet, So this has created such a high expectation, and it's very unhealthy, because it's a filtered life, a curated life. We're only picking the things that we want to show people. So people don't have a sense of reality. And the Instagram model phase is, I believe it's over. You can let me know if you disagree. But whatever it ushered it in, whatever year that was for the Instagram model, it peaked and now it's on the decline. So women that are still booking themselves on Instagram, it's pretty much been exposed. So they moved over because of the shutdowns and the lockdowns. You heard about OnlyFans. So that became a thing where women, men, whoever can have a private type of thing where people pay to watch content that is X-rated and above. I don't know how far they go with it, but it is definitely a place for X-rated pornography, right? Okay, I said the word, but that's what it is. And I guess it's levels to it. So these women who were making money, monetizing their bodies, they lost a lot of money because 2020 just did a lot of people in, unless you were on the other side taking all the money in, which now we've learned it was a lot of money changing hands, right? So again, this aspect of calling someone a model, when it's not so much about being a mannequin for designer wear, it's about women monetizing their bodies. Can we just call it what it is? And the rise in the Kardashian type of body has led a lot of women to do extreme surgeries. So they've traveled out of the country and gotten surgeries in Brazil and, where else? The Dominican Republic and things like that. So this model, as they call them, model, 25 years old, like I was saying, she possibly deleted herself, but it was an unexpected end. 25, beautiful, looking like the looks that they have now. Lots of makeup, heavy makeup, and heavy filtered look. So this life is not sustainable. And we're now seeing the other side of it. There's a lot of regret, a lot of plastic surgery regret, and also lots of plastic surgery bad, results and side effects and different things, complications, botched surgeries. So people are voicing online their regret and their experience with the botched surgeries. So that is unfortunate. We watched the whole breast implant movement go through a cycle. Now we're seeing the long-term effects. A lot of people are having so many complications with breast surgeries. And if you're old enough to remember, they had the silicone breast implants, and then they went to the saline and different other fillers and things like that. But some of the techniques that have been used were not good. And some of the products that were implanted, they have had lots of recalls and leaching of the material into the body. So lots of autoimmune disorders and just terrible things, scarring problems and just lots of regret. So now we're seeing another generation, 25-year-olds, that are not doing well behind this culture. And I know that I read some of the comments where you're seeing, if you do look at comments, like I like to see comments, I was saying earlier, because it gives me an idea of where we are in terms of the conversations. And I think the New York Post, a lot of their articles, has a balance. It's not an echo chamber. So I like that. And that's why I like Twitter right now, because it's not so much an echo chamber. You can look at a Twitter post and basically everybody's coming, with their, some people are just always going to be the comedy. So they'll find the comedy and everything. So they're sharing memes. And then you have people from the far extremes to the middle ground. So it's interesting to observe that people are not being protected like they were, being put in various silos and having algorithms and the way they shadow ban people. So people were literally only looking at certain type of content that was crafting their opinion and keeping them in the opinion because there's no challenge to it. No challenge, just echo chamber. Yes, agreement, total agreement. So now you're able to see that, okay, so the left, they feel a certain way. You have a lot of people that are voicing remorse in lots of areas, not just the plastic surgery regrets. Not you have the voting, the Biden remorse, Kamala remorse. You have lots of like waking up to realities that are very uncomfortable. So this is a time of just turbulence in terms of where we are just we're learning how to balance in this just whirlwind, right? It's a whirlwind of activity and information. So with this type of these stories right now where we're watching young people suddenly leave, they're exiting, lots of ages, lots of people, but the young people is what really is more surprising, the numbers. So these stories are so common right now. They're just, if you just keep your eye on just the New York Post, it's just nothing but sudden. We don't know. I mean, the other day I was reading, of course, you know, sometimes it catches your eye if you hear of a certain celebrity. So Sharon Osbourne was hospitalized for, everything was just hidden. It was like undisclosed location. Not sure of, it was, everything was just questionable, nebulous, nothing at all anchored down with a definitive whatever conclusion. So they just now, they are protective of things where they were in our business. Now it's like, oh, it's unknown. Everything is, we don't know. The doctors are baffled. It's sudden, unexpected. That's all we know. Let us have our privacy to grieve. It's just now it's the big secret, just secretive. And if you say anything, you know, people have a fit. But I notice now they're not having so much of a fit. You have the people that are like, oh yeah, you guys are always, if it's something, you're always saying it's the jab, it's the jab. So, you know, people are kind of tired of people coming into comment sections and saying, oh yeah, were they jabbed? Were they boosted? So it's getting to people because it's just a lot of similar situations. So you have people that are just, they're spamming, they're trolling. Some people are laughing at the downfall of others. They find humor in it. I don't know how you feel about that. Humor is a weird thing. People find humor in very dark places, right? Tina, the truth seeker's here. Well, hello. IG, hello. You miss Negrita was being Negrita. She was right in the way, but she's being very respectful. So she got out of the camera. She may make another cameo appearance, so you may get to see her. IG. Hey there, Jay Blair. Tattoo remorse. That's a good one. Lots of tattoo remorse. If anybody wants to go into business to remove tattoos, I'm gonna tell you that is a big business. So hey, Dave. Welcome, Dave Walker. How you doing? Nancy. Hey, Nancy says pimping themselves out for a false sense of fame. Yeah, and that's the consensus. People are recognizing the emptiness in a lot of things that seem to be fun. I think 2020 changed everything, right? So whatever you were doing 2019, it has changed for people. Like me, I was just travel. I told you about that. Just always traveling, loving it. I was running away probably from lots of stuff, but that was my coping mechanism, is to travel. Lady Knievel, what are you doing? Hey, welcome, sis. Freezing my toots off. Yes, a lot of people are freezing. It's kind of nippy, as they say here. Yes, Negrita is your mama's. Yes, she's such a funny little kitty. Juan is here. Hello, Juan. Welcome. Hey there. Thanks for joining. I had to abruptly end that one, right? But we're back. We're back. Yes, I thought I'd just come back and just hang out a bit. Late night talks. So Tina says it's very cold in Alabama. Yeah. Woo. It's coming through. The hawk, we used to call it. Do you all call it the hawk? That's when you know, babe, you better know how to layer. You better understand fabrics when you live in those climates because it's a science to it, right? If you got frostbite or close to it, you will never want to feel that again. So again, I wanted to just read that someone said the desperation of the upcoming generations is tragic. They are all searching for attention, validation, and meaning online, which is the last place the person says you're likely to find it. So there is a lot of just unfulfilled activities, just emptiness, and trying to find answers to these deeper things like validation online is definitely not the place to do it. But that's the place where people spend the most time is online now because television has been replaced with, I guess, streaming. A lot of people look at streaming so much and they look at YouTube. YouTube is the new tube. So a lot of people spend their time on YouTube. So people create content on YouTube. And some people, I guess they become YouTube famous. So they have to deal with that whole thing. So it is a form of social media, but you have to know how to deal with it, how to balance it. And it's hard for young people when their body is part of what they get validation for. So the body is going to change and everybody is going to get older. So we all have to think about where is my validation and value going to come from? Is it going to come from you? I know it's hard to validate yourself a lot in this culture, but as you get older, you learn that you can validate yourself. But some of us need validation from our creator. That's the only validation after a while that we seek. We don't need anything else as long as we know that our creator, our father, has validated us because we have repatriated, and then there's no need. You tend to just fall out of love with the world. We've always heard about the world, and if you're a friend of the world, you're an enemy of God. And it makes sense now because the world is so icky. What do you think? I mean, is there anything in this world right now that you're super interested in? I mean, of course, the natural beauty, you want to see sights and things like that. That's different. But I mean, this world system that a lot of us were just caught in. Lady Knievel thinks that TV sucks. Yeah, it's now redundant. They're just pulling old stuff, trying to just recycle stuff that doesn't work anymore. Hey, Thea, welcome. Let's give Thea a nice warm welcome. That's a new name. I like Thea. No information is better than misinformation. Yeah, that's a good point. No information is better than that's interesting. Yeah. Because, well, you know what? I have to think about that, Thea, because, a lot of us on both sides have fallen for misinformation, if we're going to be honest. So I think that some misinformation leads us to do more research and just hone in and pray for more sharper discernment. So I think misinformation, it doesn't have to be the worst thing. You tell me what you think about that, because I was thinking about that myself one day. It's like, well, the misinformation, different trails that you go down and you're like, okay, maybe not that. Okay, let me keep on. let me backtrack. Let me figure out what it was. What did I fall for? Why? And just you keep on sharpening yourself in terms of your research and your ability to discern truth. So yeah, I think that is the misinformation can definitely be it can be the I don't know, some people can really get stuck in it. Hey Timothy, how are you? I hadn't seen you in a while. Not cold yet in Philadelphia. Oh, really? You're getting a nice break. That's good. Apothecary Flower Girl says a lot of Icarus syndrome in the influencer culture. Good reference. The Icarus syndrome. That is exactly what it is. And it's really, I have observed it. It's interesting, like just to do commentary about. I know a lot of you have followed some of the similar content creators and different movements and trends, and just watching how this stuff developed, watching some of the fashion influencers come and go, like even some like earlier than this 2021 and now 2022, you're watching so many people just fall by the side of the road. And there was one influencer, I loved her so much on Instagram. Do you all remember Crizada? Crizada Rodriguez. So she was an Instagram fashion influencer, and she passed away. Actually, she had a really aggressive stomach cancer, and it was really strange because she was perfectly healthy. Like it seemed just 1 minute, and then the next minute she receives this diagnosis. She was just open about it, shared like the whole process with us. And once she got the diagnosis, she fought so hard, and she went for treatments, and she lost her hair, and she wore her hair bald, her bald head, and still with all of her fashions, and she was just fabulous. I loved her spirit, and I talked to her a few times actually. We exchanged nice messages, and then I talked to her when she was just having a hard time, just trying to encourage her, and she passed away, and I didn't get to go to her but guess what, my daughter actually went to her funeral, like in my place. Like it was so beautiful. She did that, her and her friend, because it was up in New Jersey. But a lot of people loved her on Instagram, and we just felt like we knew her. So she passed away, I believe it was 2017, I believe, or 16 or 17, I believe, maybe 18. But if you all remember Crizada, she was a beautiful woman from New York City. She was Dominican, actually, Dominicana, and we just loved her. So, like you watch somebody who reaches this very, very high whatever that, it's like to become this super influencer, and people talk about like the numbers that people have, and people think that the numbers, their followers and things like that, really translates to something tangible, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. I have to say, it's been really sad and kind of cringy to observe some of the things, like people really buy into their hype. This online whatever profile and image and brand, to be called a brand. Hey Pamela, welcome Pamela. Yeah, so the numbers, and when they talked about this woman 25, they said she had so many followers, and I've watched stories, I've read articles where some influencers who have like, they're TikTok famous and they have all of these followers, and they may have an event where they book this place and spend all this money to have an event, And out of all their followers, only a few show up. So it lets them, it's sad. Like they showed a young girl. I was sad for her. She was definitely a really young, like she was a teenager, and she was told this, she was TikTok famous. I'm TikTok famous. How, can you imagine saying that? I'm TikTok famous. So she was TikTok famous, and I think she had really a lot, maybe millions or something of followers. So she had this event, and they were expecting tons of people. And it was so sad. They showed, you know, people are so shady. They showed like the people, the event, and it looked like it was dead, okay, just dead. And it was like, oh, Juan, no, you didn't. No, you did not. I saw that. I was, you know what? I feel like the secondhand embarrassment. I know you guys have probably felt it with me. I act so goofy on here. You're probably like cringe. No, Jen, you're making me feel secondhand embarrassment. But that Brittany Griner homecoming, y'all, did you see that? It was bad. I think Joe Biden gets better numbers. I mean, oh my goodness, the comments. Oh, the people are so, they're brutal, brutal savagers, right? Just savagers. Yeah, that Brittany Griner homecoming. Wow. Wow. You know, nowadays, you know, I don't know whether it's parody or reality. It's blurred now. You're finding that, right? Especially if you're back on Twitter. They have all these parody accounts, and it looks so serious. Like the people will have emojis after their name. They'll have the Ukraine flag, they'll have the rainbow. They'll have like all these different emojis, unicorns and all kinds of stuff, mermaids, and then they do their pronouns. And you think they're serious, but it's a parody account. And when you read the posts, you don't know the difference. And you watch the tweets, and people are asking, can someone help me? Is this a parody account? It's so funny. It's not just me, because we have reached a point now where the parody and the reality is just, it's like this. Okay? Oh my god, all the airport shenanigans. I know I'm getting off on a tangent. Well, this is kind of loose, okay? The other one was loose too. But people, airports, clown world. Mish, yes. Are you following that account on on Twitter called Clown World? It's Clown World is like real time news, though. It's just like real stuff that's going on. So I'm just saying, like, they had, I think it was on Clown World, where they had a woman. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm not really laughing. Okay. Please give me a break. So the woman, she went up to the desk, you know, they were waiting in the lobby areas at the gates, and her children, did you all see this? Her children, two children, I believe, or maybe three, they just decided to go to the bathroom and not tell their mother. Have you ever had your child just dart off and just go off, and you're looking like a crazy person, like, nobody go anywhere, lock the doors, because you have to find your child and nobody better move. That's happened to me once, okay? And I'm telling you, I turned into some other like person. I don't know. I was in the library, downtown Philadelphia, that huge library, the main library. My daughter did that. She went off to the bathroom. My youngest brother, was supposed to be watching her. And I was doing research. I was doing microfiche. You know microfiche? So I was into this. I look up, I don't see her, and you see all these homeless men everywhere. They're hanging out. And I just like I can't the heat from my head, it just I went into like another realm. Another realm. I probably would have been able to lift a grown man and just toss him over the balcony. And I did scream, nobody better leave this library. I went out to the main, if anybody knows that library, this is a very dramatic scene. I go out to the atrium and I'm on whatever floor and I yell and it's like echoing through this old 1800s building, historical. And I said, nobody better leave. I'm looking for my daughter. And I was like, oh my gosh. And my brother was like, where is she? And he was just like, oh, and I was about to toss him over the balcony. And just, I don't know, it just seemed like so long, but just in that moment, it was a female, like she was a guard in the library. And they were coming off the elevator, my daughter and this woman. She was a very kind woman. You could tell, very protective. She had to be an angel, I'm thinking. The way she was caring for like you could see she was protecting her. And she came up to the floor, the door open. I see my daughter and the woman. I can't like if I think about this thoughts, I get the same feeling. Almost like oh my God, it's the worst feeling ever. But I'm just saying, if you have to, you will do that. But this woman, her kids sashayed off to the bathroom. And it was shortly before maybe the plane was going to board. Well, the mother, in her bedroom slippers and bonnet, went off. Sis went off. Okay. She took computers. She took keyboards. She was smashing them like the hawk. She was throwing computers across the desk. One like woman, she was like a representative, like she had approached the woman and the woman looked like she wanted to engage with her, try to de-escalate things. And I think someone yelled to her, run! Like, and the woman just like ran, like everybody was running from this woman. And I get it, okay? If you lost your child, not just one, she lost children. And she was telling these people they better find her children. Who saw that? It was unbelievable. But hey, I'm just saying, every day it's something. You saw that one. She tore up so many computers, I think, in that, like, she had a full-blown meltdown, mama bear meltdown, okay? Woo, it was deep. I watched somebody have a total fit in the airport once over a canceled flight. Can you imagine? At O'Hare Airport for snow. So you know if they're canceling flights at O'Hare for snow, it's got to be bad. So I saw this person leap over the counter at the, gate people. And it was so crazy the way they leaped over. People are wild in these airports, okay? Unreal. Did I describe her wrong, Juan? Didn't she have house shoes on and a bonnet? Let me know if I'm adding stuff to the story. Okay, so we got these influencers, and it's like a flu of the influencers. You see, flu is in the name. You notice that? Influencers. So we got a problem because it's not a sustainable life to be an influencer and to be famous, internet famous, and the things that they have been doing to keep up. Just to keep up with these people. It's a lot to keep up with. And eventually the emptiness, you can't keep filling a void and a vacuum with materialism, with relationships, with food, with drink, with drug, with any of this stuff. None of it fills an empty void. I mean, so people are now coming to this realization because of what 2020 did to people, the effect on the mental health of many people. People have become very world weary. So what do we do? What do we do to be part of the answer, the solution, especially with people that feel emptiness? Like, how can, I don't know, ideas, anybody? I don't know what to say, but I know that it's got to be dealt with, because this woman here, they're saying, deleted herself possibly. And to see her, you would think, yeah, perfect body, perfect everything. And she had a baby. They said she had 40,000 Instagram followers. And now 25 gone and left a child behind, So that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. There is also another one, that 37-year-old supersized salon star Jamie Lopez, unalive at 37 years old. She had a supersized salon, and this was for a WE television reality show. She was the founder of Baby Doll Beauty Culture. And so they say she was a star. So you hear this, a star. I never heard of her. Have you? I didn't know her, Jamie Lopez. So she was initially a plus size model, maybe. So let's see. Her salon, it was accommodating for people who were plus size, but I know people, they think that term plus size is not accurate, that we should stop using euphemisms to say plus size. Well, how do you feel? Some people are like in the comments, like, can we stop saying plus size? Like, come on now. It's called obesity. And if you say the word obesity, you're called hateful, you're phobic, you're all of these things that shut down conversation. How do you feel about this? That's another, they call it body positivity. So people are given a lot of social clout and validation for body positivity. And you've heard of this before, like Lizzo, who is an artist, musician, and she is plus sized, I'll say. Let me play along with it. Lizzo is plus sized. So if you say anything about Lizzo's weight and you are in that sort of influencer level of famous, then you are canceled. You cannot say anything about her weight. They have canceled people like Jillian, whatever. She said something and I haven't heard of her since. Where is Jillian? Because I haven't heard a thing from her. Yes, they call it fat shaming. So this is a thing. And this woman here, she was about to do season 2 of her show, Supersized Salon. And let's see. She was, I think she was maybe 600 pounds or more, and she had lost a lot of weight, but she still was, plus sized. Oh, she weighed 846 pounds. Are we going to sit here and call that plus size? 846 pounds? Now, I've taken care of patients that are in not 800, but I think I've taken care of maybe 4 to maybe between 400 and 600 pounds of various people. Uh, so she lost 400 pounds. That is pretty dramatic. So she wanted to promote positivity because she felt that society didn't treat fat people. Well, she said fat people. That's a quote. She said fat people, if you're still allowed to say that, they are treated horribly. So she wanted to drive a movement to foster inclusivity. We hear that a lot, inclusivity. And, to make, as she said, fat people feel like they belong. Hey, Girl Code. Girl Code. Sissy, I'm back, okay? I got some relief from my shift. I'll be headed back. I'll take a little nap and head back. So, yes, just a little big boned. Yeah, big boned. That's another one. Big boned. Yeah, so this woman, I'm not sure what happened. It was one of those suddenly, unalived kind of situations. So we don't know what's going on there. Now, there was another story. There was a woman who, from Brazil, they said she was a model. Also a model. She's okay. She had a problem on an airplane where they asked her to pay for an extra seat. And I think there was some kind of words altercation type of thing going on. And wow, it's a lot of people leaving. Wow, somebody from the Sound of Philadelphia. Which one is that? 1 minute, when I see Philadelphia, I'd want to see what's up. And I'll tell you about this woman, this Brazilian woman. So Tom Bell, Sound of Philadelphia producer, 79. Okay. So he was part of the Sound of Philadelphia. Okay. So he has passed away. So let's see. Hey, B Wolf, how you doing? B Wolf says too much supposed food is an actually nutrient. Too much supposed food. Oh, just because you can shove it in your pile doesn't mean you should. All righty. There you go. There you go. Joyce, how you doing? Joyce is here. So yeah, this woman, it's a lot of crazy stories. It's so crazy. But it was one I wanted to show you, that another situation where you have, oh no, I didn't put the link. I thought I did. Anyway, it was just basically this woman. She is, I think, going to sue the airline because they asked her to buy an extra seat. And I'm not sure what all happened, but she felt maybe that they were shaming her, and she's going to sue them, I believe. I'm looking for it. If I see it, or if you saw the story, let me know, of the woman who, she was going either back to Brazil, and they asked her to buy an extra seat, which we heard that that's what they do. If a person is a certain weight, they will ask if they can't have the extended seatbelt. If that doesn't fit, I believe they have to get the extra seat, and they have to. It's like paying for 2 tickets. So it's like, now she's upset. Sissy, can you imagine suing because you need 4 seats? Can you imagine? Like, I can't imagine being demanding, though, because you're on an airplane, like you're on this metal tube, going through the sky, and everything needs to be balanced, all the weight and everything. Why would you want to be like a tough person when it comes to that? Weight and balance. So, yeah, I don't see that link. But it was a story that just made me think about this. Wait, let me just see really quick. No. I guess sometimes the links will disappear. But she's making a big deal about this, and whatever happened, the airline offended her very badly, embarrassed her, and so she's now taking them to task for it. And this is another thing about this social media thing, like this body positivity thing, that a lot of people are adopting certain body sizes and just not telling the truth. Like, you can't say anything. If people are unhealthy, it's not about the size of the person. It's just, can we encourage health? Not to do something that's going to bring destruction of health. Like, it's so many like competing messages. Where are we into wellness? Is this healthy for a person mentally? If people are so cruel to people that are fat or big boned or whatever, why do that? It causes so many issues for people. But again, we have a lot. It's a lot when it comes to that. It's just, that's not an easy one. It's like so many components to it. But it's this social media aspect that I wanted to talk about, just how a lot of people are feeling empty now that we have come to this certain place where now we're looking back on the social media. We've had a few years to play in this realm, and now you realize some of the pitfalls. But for the young people, pitfalls can be pretty bad. It's very hard. So I don't know what the answer is, because now we've opened up this thing. How are you ever going to put this thing back in the box, this social media? Because I saw a comment where someone said, let's just stop this social media. Do you think we could absolutely stop social media? Would you be okay with that? I don't know. I think we've gone into a place where I don't see how it could be put back in the box. But then we have to learn how to be well. How are we going to help the young people that have to live their life on social media? They feel it's what are you going to be, like an Amish person? Are we really going to do the Amish life? What's up? What's your thoughts? Because it's getting to be so toxic for the young people. And with a lot of people losing their livelihoods and their identity, and now a lot of health is being destroyed. Just lots of reports, everywhere, young people and their health, and just people's overall health. And we just have lots of crazy things going on. So let me see. Juan is suggesting that when it comes to social media, it seems that people with a low self-esteem, they find a voice or platform. Yeah, definitely. It's a place where, even for these models, they can. Have you seen the before? They have some women that are really honest about how they look without all of the makeup and wigs and everything. So they'll show how they put the lashes and the makeup and just everything. Masters of disguise. One woman, I watched her transformation. Unbelievable. And it was so funny, because the comments from the men, they were just shocked, because her transformation was so dramatic. She looked maybe 20 years younger. So it was shocking. She was very, very skilled in makeup. Wow. So it's amazing what you can do to create an illusion and find men that are trans, whatever. There's a debate going on about that right now because people are running into issues because men, heterosexual men, don't want to date trans women as an option. That's just not on the table for heterosexual men. And so a lot of trans women and their allies are having problems with straight men not wanting to date trans women. So there's a lot of issues with that, a lot of conversations, debates, and things. And it's interesting to observe because people, I'm noticing this whole issue about what is a woman. You all know that this has been a ongoing conversation. What is a woman? And women are being erased right now. And this agenda that a lot of people went along with, they're now realizing as it's coming back to bite them, they're realizing that they went along with this wokeism that now they have to accept being replaced. And that's what it is. It's like being replaced and erased as a woman. Because I remember when Caitlyn Jenner became Woman of the Year or whatever, sports, whatever. And I have a cousin who's in media. She's a journalist. And she posted, she was so enamored by Caitlyn. And, oh, this is so stunning and brave, being the ESPN Woman of the Year, whatever that was. So it was stunning and brave to her. And she was saying Caitlyn, something to the like, Caitlyn could teach women something. And I sat back, got some popcorn, and I watched people drag her for that. And I wanted to chime in, but I was like, I'm not doing that to my cousin. I'm just going to watch. And she probably watched people drag me too for supporting Trump. They probably had a good time watching me get drugged. But I watched people react, and they were on two sides of it. They were supportive of this and agreed, and then people were like, how can Caitlyn Jenner teach a woman anything? And I thought, like, that is really, like, it's so dismissive because a woman is not just makeup. And that's what I've observed this whole thing. And I get it. You may want to be a woman because women, we have a lot of fun. It looks like a lot of fun. I get it, guys. You want to be in stilettos because they're dangerous. Dangerous. You want to see if you could walk in 3-inch, 4-inch heels. I can't, okay? And I admit to it. I can't walk in those things very well. But just thinking that being a woman is about your hair, your makeup, your clothes. And like I said, I think that women have fun with being a woman. I think it's fun, personally. I love makeup. I love the whole aspect of beauty and things. I do like that. Okay. When I was into the getting my nails done, it's so much. We get to do a lot. Okay. Zelensky, he understands. Zelensky understands. I get it, Zelensky. He likes the stilettos and he likes to twerk and wear S&M Balenciaga wear. I get it. It's fun, right? He has a lot of fun. Okay. So yeah. And we get to do things, right? And what is it, ladies? We get to, like, I don't know. We just have fun. Girly, curly, and pink and Barbie, right? A Barbie. So yeah, I get. And then when you have children and you've got a baby girl, It's so many baby girl clothes and things, and then the boys have just nothing, right? Nothing fun. Sorry, guys. It's just, I don't know, this culture and society is tilted towards girls and women, right? Women. I don't know. I never thought about that. Girls, I know you're going to be mad at me, some of you, but I'm just got to tell the truth. I know it's unpopular with a lot of people, but you know, I get it, is all I'm saying. We're colorful. And men might just get a little bit, some men, I'm not saying all, I'm not saying don't do it. I brought the spoon back. Don't come for me, okay? I'm just making observations, okay? So, these guys, what do you want? Attention? They want attention? They want to dress up in a hot wig in the summertime? Is that what you want? You want to wear stilettos and jam your feet into pointy roach killers? You want to do that to your feet? Huh? You want to have bunions when you get older? So you want to put pancake makeup on? You want to put lashes on? Why? You want long stiletto coffin nails like Cardi B so you can have good hygiene when you go how do you do that with the nails? How do you have good hygiene with the nails? The claws. So is that what being a woman is? Because that seems like that's what it is to these people. Let me just put on a whole bunch of makeup and hair and dress and stilettos and just whatever, right? Now I'm a woman. Really, is that easy? Yeah, well, guess what? You know, becoming a woman and going through puberty and having your menstrual cycle and all the trauma of your body changing. And just knowing that your body has to be protected in a way because you carry the life, okay? You and him make the life, but you carry it in your body, inside your body. So the consequences are not equal. So as a woman, you have a whole different experience. Has nothing to do with hair and makeup and stilettos, right? So it's an insult when I watch how these trans women, they're older and you know they're just, you know, I feel bad, you know, if it's something that's going on, a dysmorphia, whatever, but it's not something that we're not all going to agree to all of this stuff. We're not obviously agreeing to it. And a lot of people are having reverse surgeries. They're having, we talked about remorse and regret. That is a big one that's being silenced. There's a whole part of YouTube and content creators that deal with detransitioning surgeries for people with big regrets. I just shared one of the people recently, came out last week. I'll give you the name. One of the, what's his name? Give me a minute. If you follow me on Instagram, I put a few of these things up sometimes. Let's see. His name is retired Navy SEAL Chris Beck, who came out as trans, announces detransition and says it destroyed his life. So you have these stories all over the place, and these people go through hell when they get canceled from the far extreme left that they used to be a part of. And when they tell their experience, their lived experience, they are treated so badly. So if you have an opportunity to embrace somebody that's been canceled from their group, I'm sure they would appreciate it, you know, because we know how that feels, some of us. Their experience is really extreme. It's pretty sad. So some of the stories, they're out there, so you can hear them from their own testimonies, and it's just a lot of regret with a lot of things. So it's just a period where we're all going through some soul searching, whatever you want to call it. People are repatriating back to God and getting their relationship together there. Me, myself included in that. Like I tell you, it's repatriation. That's what I call it. And it's the only answer that I see, that I can, it's my opinion. It's the only answer out of this feeling of emptiness. And this, the word I used earlier, what did I tell you guys? I learned that word. What was it? I know I wrote it down earlier. I'll find it. This is what some of the people are feeling. Crestfallen. They're crestfallen. They have a dispirited and depressed and dejected kind of spirit. And just wanting to be a part of just, how do we feel? How do we help people to go in the direction of the light and to be filled with something that's tangible, that's real, not this empty calories, nothing burgers. And just saying like, this is where the water is. This is where I go to get filled, right here. This is the well. So if I can just point you in the direction, I'm telling you myself, that worked for me. And I don't feel, even in these turbulent times, I don't feel the emptiness. It's hard, because when you have to watch people go through illnesses and things like that, and you have to come to this understanding that things are changing for some people, they're, transitioning, and you want to help prepare your family for these days ahead. I have been sort of like a doula for people who have died. I can say died. I can talk about death, and I have helped people that are dying to be comfortable and to be there with them in their last breath, okay? Holding their hand and assuring them, so when you have experienced that for years, you have a different, it's a different way that you look at it. That's why, a lot of people got mad at me because I wasn't afraid in 2020. It's like, I'm not afraid. I have watched people die, and it's been so peaceful and beautiful. And it's a transition to the next life. Okay. So when death is just not this final horrible thing, that you understand it not to be that. So fear is just not, it's just not a part of it's, I just don't have that fear. And I want to encourage people not to have that fear. And some people are obsessed with it. It's not about that, but it's just about understanding that this is an appointment we all have. And I know a lot of people are self-deleting as well. We had this guy, Twitch boss, and there's a whole lot going on about his situation. People are not agreeing with the narrative, the official story. I don't know what I think. I haven't really thought about it a lot. It's sad to see things like that. And it's just a lot of that crestfallen feeling going on as people are reevaluating what they put value in. And they're realizing that their validation, it's not true validation if it's coming from likes and follows and whatever, this social media if you have a check mark, if you are, whatever, you're verified. It means nothing. I mean, so how do we help the young people to get to a place where life has meaning? Because we've helped to take the meaning out, excuse me, out of it, because we've made everything so commodified, and they are brands, and just thinking that you're a brand, it's hard. Brianna Walker, oh my gosh, how are you doing, Brianna Walker? Oh my goodness, how are you? Thank you for never quieting your voice and standing in curiosity, seeking knowledge, and courageously sharing your. Thank you, Brianna. I love you so much. It's so nice to have you here. Please give Brianna a nice warm welcome from our chatmosphere. Yes, indeed. So I see again that it's all about natural and organic. It just goes back to the natural, organic way of living. How do we do it in this also high tech? I was listening to a Twitter space where Elon was talking about Tesla and the future of Tesla financially, where he's going to move if he's going to move out of San Francisco or LA or wherever he is in California, where is he going to go? Is it going to be Florida, Texas? He already has stuff in Texas. So, excuse me. This is ginger ale. Who's ever had this kind of ginger ale? Ginger beer. Got a little extra ginger. So, Elon, I listened to him I know somebody was like, really in the chatmosphere last week or something, talking about they think Elon's the Antichrist and he wants to put a chip in everybody's head. And I told you, Elon's not going to come nowhere near me with a chip. I'm not worried about Elon's. But it's interesting to watch Elon because, you'll listen to him. He'll drop different things that are kind of like, Elon, what are you talking about, bro? And then he's doing some great things when it comes to, just making the conversation a little more level. I appreciate it. So that part of him I like. And he's, right now, it's fun to watch him give it to the hypocrites. And that's what he's doing. He's giving it to the hypocrites. And it's like interesting to watch their reaction because they love this guy. He was a superstar to everybody on that side. A lot of people loved him. And then now they're turning on him. So it just shows how quick people turn. And that's why it's not worth trying to get validation from people that are capricious. Did I just use that word right? Capricious? Let me know. Dana's in the room. Dana, did I use the word capricious right? Let me find out. Capricious. Did I use it right in the sentence? John, did I use capricious right? John, the reeing is delicious. Are you in the Twitter spaces too, John? You guys, I was in a Twitter space. I told you today. I look over, it's Nancy Pelosi and Soldier Boy. I was like, this is crazy. I love it though. So you can just have Nancy hung in there almost the whole time. Were you guys on that one? Did you see Nancy in there? Nancy was up in the chat. So I'm just saying, you say he's a master troll. I think he is. I think he's a master troll. There's a side of me that thinks that Elon and Trump and Elon and Trump, I think they're like behind the scenes cracking up. I don't know. I could be wrong. It feels like WWF I feel like this is all scripted. Just it's WWF. Who do you think? I just, in my mind, I have to laugh about it and just think that it is, okay? Nobody told me if I used capricious correct. Did I? Waiting for you, Dana. IG is having a cranberry and vodka. Yeah, you are. Yum. Yes. Well, again, I want to get back to the common law. That's the thing. The common law, it just keeps coming back to me. Common law, organic, and I'm thinking a lot of young people will feel more fulfilled, of course, when we correct our course and go back to natural mindsets, everything natural, because the artificial is why things have, it's just, it makes no sense. It's becoming more absurd. If we keep going in this artificial way, then things will, it's like it relates. It relates. What is that called in math when it's like it's a direct relationship? It's a direct relationship. As we get further away from natural law, God's law, we get closer to clown world. So it's an inverse, right? Or inverse relationship, correlation. Thank you, Dana. Help me with these terms. It's a correlation, inverse relationship too. No, we'll just say correlation. It's a correlation, everyone. Corollary. I like that, B Wolf. Corollary. Okay. So how much clown world can we take? Because it's becoming so just, I don't know. Sometimes when I'm looking, we have gotten into this silos of thought that some people are just, they're becoming more concrete in their positions. They really believe the extremes of the two sides. Like, and then you say Elon is controlled money. Yeah, I just don't know what to think about Elon all the way, right? But it is interesting to watch. I'm cautiously watching Elon. I'm not looking at him as a messiah and a savior. I never saw him that way. I think he can do a particular task, and he can fulfill a mission without being, whatever, because everybody, a lot of people fill roles. And maybe, they say, I can't recall that scripture where some people are noble, and then there are some that are not noble, like vessels, but still they can accomplish something that will be used for the good, in other words. So Elon is, I'm just cautiously observing Elon. I'm not with the chips and all of that. I mean, he's the guy that's talking about doing all the stuff on Mars, and I just can't get down with that. I'm not interested in Mars. I'm not interested in outer space anymore, by the way, everybody. I'm not. I have no interest in outer space. It's just me. I'm only interested in the soil, the land, everything inside the soil, and food security. I'm into energy, free energy, open source things. I'm just into local economy, small batch, and it has nothing I don't care about self-driving cars. I mean, Elon wants these cars on the road where you don't have to do a thing. It's just all automated. And I don't like that. I don't like that. That's not my vision for the future. I don't quite see what I don't see it clearly because I'm not a city person anymore. I used to love the city. I'm very not into the city. I like a small city like Savannah. That's enough city for me. But I like more rural beach. That's it. Simple. So I really want to see more young people get into agriculture. And agriculture is not just growing food. Agriculture is so much more. So these kind of tangible things that lead to sovereignty, I mean, that's real freedom. We let go of our food supply to a bunch of Nazis. And that is so stupid because we're relying on our enemies to process our food. That's so idiotic. So just, and then we have Balenciaga and Gucci and all these things and fast fashion made overseas. I just, I can see the local slowing down of things and just creating local products and bringing the cost of living and the quality of living, raising it, the cost of living from a local community standpoint, you can lower. So call me a dreamer, but that's the only way I see out of it. And it does include God. I mean, this whole like cafeteria God stuff, it leads to where we are. We have to get back to the foundations. And a lot of us don't agree on the foundations, but we have tangibles that our foundations were in the law of God. And I know I don't talk about grace a lot anymore because I feel that we have trampled grace. We've trampled it. So it's just I love law. Okay? And you could call me whatever name, I love law. So we're going to be studying law again. Like I said, we'll be doing more of it. I've done just a bit, but I want to talk about some more issues. Like I did tell you that the Federalist Papers, I'd like to talk about that. We've done the Bill of Rights. I read the Magna Carta. What else? We've gone through some of the papers. Like, we've done the Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, some of the constitutional amendments. So I think it would be interesting to just go through and review some of these American state papers again. Just a review, and the Federalist Papers, right? Wouldn't that be different? Something neat, right? And also any cases, like case study. I'd like to look at some things that involve case study, even down to like some of the lawsuits. Like I talked about the woman who's overweight who's going to sue the airline, even though it's like that is going to be jurisdiction in Brazil. But what about here? Some of these kind of lawsuits, where do they fall in terms of like, is it a real case to take before like who? I want to look into like some of the things that people are doing in the Supreme Court, what they're bringing. Hey, the Lizzie. I love that name. The Lizzie, welcome. You can find out through searching by Where's Money Coming From. Follow the money trail on Elon Musk. Thank you, the Lizzie. Hey, let's welcome the Lizzie. I love the name. You're new to our chatmosphere, the Lizzie, and welcome. Yeah, so we will get back to some natural things. And that's the thing, like even I bring up a lot of scripture because a lot of it is just in me. And I think about when the scripture talked about in the last days, the people would not have natural affection. So I see this playing out now because there's just weird things. Like I was watching, okay, because I've been hanging out in the hospital and stuff, hanging out, and I watched the Food Channel the other day. Was anybody watching the Food Channel the other day? I'm giving you a warning, okay? They were making something on the Food Channel, and let me see if anybody watches the Food Channel. I was shocked, okay? They were making something, preparing something on the Food Channel. It was uterus. I told you, I gave you a little warning. Can you believe this? On the Food Channel the other day, when they do the challenge and they have to make weird things, they were making pig uterus. And listen, that is crossing a line. I don't know. They kept saying it too. They were, preparing it different ways, but they were saying pork uterus and just saying it over and over. And it had an agenda feel to it. It felt very ritualistic. And I felt that they were pushing another boundary. And I know that they do like the testicles. I've heard that. Okay. That's not as shocking anymore, but I never liked that whole aspect of whatever. The name, what are they? Something, what do they call them? The testicles. They have a name for them. So they've been doing that. But this was different. Uterus of a pig. And I think that this is now it's so degraded. And this is the Food Channel. I believe it was, the Food Channel. That's it. One. Rocky Mountain oysters. Yes, Lady Knievel. That's right, Nancy. Unclean. And see, that goes back to when we learn the laws. And I know people get into like, oh, we don't live by law. We live by grace. We can eat anything. For me, I don't want to be somebody that eats anything. I want to go by what does God think about it, okay? I want to agree with God on food. I've actually stopped eating shellfish. And I did love shellfish. So I stopped eating it. It was just a call that it wasn't anything. I'm not telling anybody to do it, but I felt called to abstain from eating shrimp and all of that. I don't eat that anymore. So it's just for me. I feel, and I haven't been eating pork in so long. That's just no. That's a no. So just for me, it's just how it is. So I don't know this push to normalize things like that. And especially because of the attack on women, there is like, guys, I feel there's an attack on women, and there is an attempt to erase women, to redefine women, and to replace us. So when they kept saying uterus and they were, oh, we're frying it. How did you prepare it? It was just, I felt that it had something to do with this thing about the womb, the woman, and just the attack, just something, it felt psyopish. So I don't know what they're up to right now. What is going to be next? Because that's the thing with these people. They don't stop. It just continues to go further and further. So if they're frying up pig uterus today, what is it going to be next? Did anybody write letters or emails into the Food Channel to tell them that you've gone too far? Do you think we should do stuff like that? Do you think it matters? What do you think when you hear stuff like that? I mean, I know they want us to be demoralized where we just throw up our hands and say, just let them do it. And then tomorrow they'll be frying up something shocking, more shocking on the Food Channel. So, Shawnee, that's what I'm starting to. She said, "You got me with a zero." I'm sorry, Shawnee. I know everybody likes their shrimp, but I can't do it. I can't do it anymore, people. I'm off of it. So, yeah, law, natural, organic. I read the labels to everything. So every now and then I enjoy a little soda. So this ginger stuff. But if I'm going to do it, it has to have ingredients that make sense. So it's like, filtered water, sugar cane sugar, ginger root, pineapple juice, all things I can pronounce, honey, lemon, and lime juices. That's what's in this. It makes sense. And why can't things just be that way? Why do you have to feel that you're doing something extra because you want to be able to read the ingredients? It should be only a few ingredients in your food. You shouldn't need a chemical degree. Is that too much to ask? So that's part of it. It's just fighting for natural, organic life. We can do that. That's the thing. I believe we have the power to do that. And when we reject their corporations, we reject, like in the hospital, there's a Starbucks. I haven't had any desire to drink Starbucks. I drank a Starbucks not too long ago when I was driving really early in the morning. My daughter got me a Starbucks and, I did it. I'm not a stickler, but I just don't have a desire. And I used to always love Starbucks. It made me happy just to go in a Starbucks, but I don't have any desire. I'd rather go to a local coffee shop owned by people that I get to meet them. So I found a couple of those kind of places and met the owners. I'd rather go there. So Starbucks, if it went out of business, I wouldn't care. Just leave more room for small mom and pop people from the community. We don't need these corporate entities. They can just go away. That's how I feel. So I was able to walk by that Starbucks and not have any desire. I don't miss it, whatever. So it's just, what do you think? How do you feel we can get in terms of like this social media, this artificial part of living? Some of us can navigate it because we know we understand it's for this one purpose, but we don't have our validation through this medium. We don't need the validation. So I just wanted to share that this influencer thing, just it's starting to crumble because it's not sustainable and it doesn't give real validation. But in the void and the emptiness that people are finding, how can we be, like I said, part of an answer, a solution? Can we create things on a local level, like in ways that it'll just feed people, literally and figuratively, feed people, help our local people? Scorched Siren, hey, I hadn't seen you in a while. I never liked Starbucks. I always thought it tasted like mud. Yeah, right. In fact, I do drink mud. I drink mud in the morning. I the diatomaceous earth. I do that with hot water, lemon, and honey. So it is kind of like a coffee, like a mud drink. Dana, you're off to bed. Blizzard there. Good night, Dana. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, so that was pretty much what I wanted to share. When I do write the letter to the doctor, I will share it. I have to think about my letter because boy, that doctor, he's going to get a piece of my mind. So I'm going to think about that letter, but I will share it. The Lizzie says we need to support mom pop small business in America. Yes, American made. That's the way out of it. And getting back to the law of God, natural. Our mindset will heal and just a natural rhythm. I just don't know how the technology fits in. So that's what I want to envision. Okay, more natural living, yet the technology advancing. How does it do that organically? I don't know. You love that. You love that mud and mushroom coffee. Yeah, mushrooms. Yeah, we Girl Code and I were talking about mushrooms. Just the whole aspect of I want to grow some mushrooms like, shiitake and all of those and yeah, I like mushrooms and just it's a lot of healing properties to mushrooms, a lot to learn. Yeah, so I've been on, wow, so long already. I didn't know. I thought I was just going to real quick break out the poison pen and let it rip, right, Nancy? I am going to pull the poison. I think I might actually cursive write this letter. He might not even understand cursive, right? He'll have to ask somebody to translate it for him. I might do that because I've been practicing my cursive. I might write a cursive letter to him. Real paper and real pen. We'll see. But in the meantime, in between time, I will catch you later. Thank you. Yes, Sissy, I'm sure you're gonna do something. Check Girl Code out. She's got some stuff dropping. Let me know, Girl Code. Keep me posted because I'm all over the place right now. But I'm gonna keep it together. Things are gonna start, leveling out. But I'm just kind of like my mind is in a few places. I'm going to be working out my tech issues too. I'm getting close to getting a resolution with my tech issues. So I'll keep you posted. Night One, thank you for coming by. Night night, Lady Knievel. Thank you, Mish. Same to you. I love you. And everybody take good care. I'll give you something funny to leave out on, okay? So this was how I felt earlier rather. Dare you? Dare you? How dare you?